Hello friends, Namaste. I am conducting the sessions on the course of Travel and Tourism Management. In this session, we will be discussing about the elements of the main sectors of the transportation industry. We will describe the travel documents required to travel abroad and in India. We will discuss the growth and development of tourism in world and in India. When we talk about the transportation industry, in tourism sector, the transportation industry is being divided into three categories. One is the air transport. So, the contribution of air transport in tourism industry has been very magnificent. After the deregulation in 1980s, people started utilizing airways a lot because of the kind of airfare practices which the transportation industries was utilizing to have revenue management practices. They started providing low fare, they started providing fare according to the day of booking, and then it helped the customers to get low fare for their various travel needs, and they started traveling to far off places, in fact to short haul journeys as well. Short haul journeys means nearby journeys which has lesser number of miles. So in transportation industry, the three categories which are divided are air transport, land transport and water transport. So land transport is further divided into two categories, which are roads and railways. The credit to this picture goes to tourismnotes.com. This land transport has also played a vital role, and as we have discussed in the earlier session, the evolution of travel industry since from our ancestors' time, the Homo sapiens, when they used animals to travel to places, and gradually they developed wheel, the bicycle, the motor coach, then helicopters and steamship rails, and then we could see jet planes, and now all of us are talking about space tourism, space fleets. Another gradual development which will be happening is by Elon Musk from his company Tesla, which is coming up with Hyperloop, which is the fastest form of mode of travel in a loop form. So these transportation has made the travelers to take up traveling without thinking a lot, where they can hassle free move to one place to another. And the century which has seen most of the tourism growth is in the 19th century because of the deregulation in airways, as well as even various forms of cruise ships which developed was in the 19th century. Here we will be talking about the rail transport, which is in the category of land transport. Rail transport to be spoken about was in the year 1830, where it was the first rail which was initiated between Liverpool and Manchester, where the passengers were allowed. Earlier the rail was used, the coaches, for freight. But then in 1830 we saw passengers were added in addition to freight. And there are many discussions which has been said that the railway started in 1825 and 1820. But in tourism industry, we credit to the first rail link which was between Liverpool and Manchester in 1830. It was a crucial landmark and crucial development in the transportation industry. Now, why we are talking about transportation industries? Because it is one of the prominent A of the tourism industry, that is the accessibility. So it comes under the category of accessibility, where it gives the access to the travelers to move from his origin place to different destinations. Here we will speak about or discuss about the rail travel, that is the organized rail travel. Now, why organized rail travel? Because this tourism industry was not in its shape before 1840. We give credit to the father of the tourism industry, the business of tourism industry, to Mr. Thomas Cook, who gave this tourism industry an organized form, a business structure. It's because of his brilliant idea which came to his mind when he saw people using railways as a mode of travel for their religious meetings, that is called as temperance meeting, which they used to go from Leicester to Loughborough. And in this meeting they used to go very frequently in groups, and this meeting was all about to de-addict themselves from bad habits. So Mr. Thomas Cook, when he was walking in one of the street, he thought, why not to organize a rail travel for these group with some commission, and to reduce the burden of booking tickets or taking care of their families. So this idea was being broached, and then he got a good response. He had 570 passengers who took the journey from Leicester to Loughborough, and it was almost, the journey was made in such a way that it reduced the return fare of the passengers to 1 shilling. So the passengers were very happy, and Mr. Thomas Cook got some 5% of commission from the railway bodies. And because of his idea, many other businessmen started contributing a lot. So when we talk about Cox and Kings came in picture, and then there were many big travel agencies who started contributing a lot in tourism industry. The next major contributor in land transportation is the motor coach. The development of motor coach in 1839 was the biggest achievement. Its invention was highly credible because people started moving from one region to another using land as a medium through the motor coach. And basically in Europeans and Americans, it was seen that they developed a habit of holiday through road transports, wherein they did the pack up type of activities for their families on weekends, and they used to have leisure time, which contributed a lot in the tourism industry. So the road transport was highly seen after the World War One, and it has contributed a lot in domestic tourism plus international tourism. Now international tourism, when we say, it's like within the continents, there are people who take travel from India to Europe, or there are people who are traveling from India to China. So this is through the various land mediums. Another sector in the transportation industry is through sea medium. So we know ferries, ship, cruises have contributed a lot in sea medium. The major contribution, or the first company to contribute for the passengers travel, was Cunard Steamship Company. So this Cunard Steamship Company, along with the freight, they started giving opportunities to the travelers to travel to the other continent, and it has contributed a lot in the growth of North Atlantic shipping as well. So whenever we talk about cruises, Cunard Steamship Company's contribution is highly noted and been said by all the tourism scholars. Here in sea transport, ferries are known as for point to point travel. So it's basically a small boat or ship, ship which takes passengers to a point to point. It doesn't cover long miles, whereas cruises are on the boat stay arrangements where round the world trips are being conducted, and it contributes a lot towards the revenue generation as well in tourism industry. Here we can see that the English felt a great need for improved communication across the Atlantic, with America for the purpose of trade and commerce and passenger transport. As a result of this, there was a great strides in the development of deep sea shipping. So it all happened during the 18th century when this Englishmen, because of the trade, they started using ship as a medium for their business trade activity. Air transportation. Air transportation has contributed a lot in the long haul journeys for far continents, and because of the deregulation which happened in 1980s, as I've already mentioned in my first slide, people started using this medium because of its the direct route, point to point service, because of the high speed, the quick service, the kind of luxury they used to get in the air transportation, and even with the note of social and political significance. So there was lots of takers in air transportation medium. And when we talk about the aircraft manufacturers, Douglas kind of aircraft given a major push for short haul journeys. Short haul journeys means from region to region within the country. So Douglas DC-6, Douglas DC-7 has contributed a lot towards the long haul journeys. And in history, when we talk about after the Second World War, air transport has increased exponentially. That was the period of growth. Please watch the next sessions on the remaining topics. Do watch, share, subscribe, and give your feedback. Thank you for watching.